So managing cognitive load, I talked about. We got to manage cognitive load, incremental and connected content. Never too much, and always remind, you already know how to do this. You have resources you can bring to bear on this. What resources do I have? Remind kids. We learned this, reconnect, and build on. Always build on. Less new. Adjust both resources and demands. This is one of the things that technology can really help with. We can give you more resources. We can shift the demand. So resources like glossary. What's that word again? Oh, look, I have a resource. I can look that right up. And in English and Spanish. Help me. What am I supposed to do here? Oh, I can give you a hint here to help you think about how do I approach this? What strategy do I use? Tools. I need some tools. I need to help visualize this again. Take me back. What tools are available here? So we can provide resources for kids who need them. And kids are very good at self-selecting. I mean, you could say, well, do I turn off the resources? Because kids want the right challenge. And they're very good because they, it's kind of like, let's see if I can do it without the hint. Because it's satisfying. You want to get kids, learning is really a very satisfying experience. Frustration is really an unsatisfying experience. So finding that line where learning feels good is what it's all about. So we can supply resources. And then we can adjust the demands in even very simple and subtle ways. So asking kids, what piece goes in here, and these are broken up so I can count them, versus what piece goes in here, and it's not broken up, and look, it's over on the other side. So incrementally increasing the demand, varying the task. So wait a minute, it's not the same as I just saw it. It's very typical in US textbooks to give kids, teach them something, and then have them practice that same thing over and over again. And practice is important, but you want to have them, at some point, I don't have to think about it anymore because you're not challenging me. I've done this, I've done this, I've done this. So you want to be very thoughtful about, well, what do I do here to make it just a little bit different, so I have to think about it just a little bit differently. It's the same thing, but it's a little bit different. It's on the other side. There are no things to help me. And that's like, oh, you struggle with that? I can take you back. So technology can keep moving the demand and make available the resources to keep you in that, and they call it the zone of proximal development, at the edge of your competence, where the thing you're tackling is just a little bit of a challenge, just a little beyond you. And that's a great place to keep kids, if you can do it. Focus practice. You can't get fluent without practice. And that practice, you want to be adaptive so that it varies. I'm practicing. It gets easier. It gets harder based on my performance, trying to find that right level for me. It's continually moving me forward. So that idea of I'm just going to twist it just a little bit, and that twisting it a little bit builds the fluidity. I'm seeing it in a different way. And now when I feel solid with one way, I'm going to give you now, let's introduce, now I'm going to introduce sets and areas and pies and circles. Because let's see, now it's the same thing. We're going to take that thing you're solid with and look at it in a different way, and look at it in a different way. And you have something to base it on, but you need that solid base. And you want to provide immediate feedback. Am I getting it? No, I didn't get it. That's something technology can do, so that your practice is always, you're practicing what you've learned rather than practicing a mistake that you don't find out about until the next day or a week later. You do a worksheet, you got mistakes on it, all you've done is practice making a mistake. And kids get very good at learning how to make mistakes. And getting very good at it. So, fluency and fluidity, they are possible. We can do it. The later we go, the more challenging it is, but we can still do it. We are wired for math. Don't let anybody tell you, any of your kids tell you, I'm not good at math. I can't do math. You were born good at math. You've learned that you're not good at math. We can all do this. We are totally set for this. Our dogs know more math than some of our kids think they know. Because dogs, you throw some and how do they figure out what angle to take to go there? That's math. We are doing math all the time when we put things into sets, when we talk about, even linguistically, when we talk about my grandfather's grandson, my father's grandson is my son. That's a mathematical concept. The tallest person in the room is an impredicative. I spend too much time with mathematicians. That they are concepts that are mathematical. They're about sets and subsets. I want everybody between the ages of 4 and 7. That's a mathematical concept based on quantity. We are wired for it. We do it all the time. You have to help kids appreciate that mathematical thinking that they're doing in their lives. We're just doing it in class now, guys. We're practicing it. You do it all the time. You already know how to do this. Those informal foundations built on what we're wired for. We have these areas in our brain that light up when we do math, different kinds of math. And we build our informal foundations, build on that. Instruction has to leverage those. That's the point. We've got to leverage those. We're going to learn. We're going to instruct very carefully and incrementally. We're going to practice, because practice is part of what you don't, when you learn how to drive, when my son was learning how to drive, there was no radio, there was no anything. We spent, and he learned how to drive a stick shift because we were going to do it. If he could do that, he could do anything. But you reduce the distractions, you're very focused, and you do it a lot. And it's not until you do it a lot that you feel you get the kind of fluency that you can do it and then turn the music on too. But even then, at some point you got to know how to focus. And then you can do it. Perform, show what you can do. You're ready to do it. Well, this is awesome.